All right, everyone, welcome back. So, my video with "Is it worth being a shop owner anymore" on TikTok, it's blowing up. That's got nearly 15,000 views already, and I'm glad to see that there's other shop owners and technicians and everyone reaching out and putting their 2 cents in, as they feel that the industry is just not worth it anymore. We've had mom and pops, franchise systems, guys that had 4 bays down to 1 bay. And the answer isn't hiring a manager just for me. I have an office manager, and then there's just situations that are out of our control. And I will tell you this, if I wasn't in my store every day, if I personally wasn't in that location every day, that I would have been out of business years ago. So we're going on 19 years, and we've have survived some of the toughest economic challenges, let alone the challenges of operating a small business. It's not, you can't just say you're going to raise your labor rate to $200 an hour and everything's going to be worth it. There's repercussions for almost everything. So if you raise your labor rate too high, people are going to instantly just back out. So you have to be competitive in the marketplace. And I would say, and one shop owner said that they own a furniture store, and he said that the high-end customers, dreamy, the mid, are a pain in the ass. And obviously, I don't really think that he's dealing with anyone on the lower end of furniture restoration. Employees, parts, the business. So it isn't just me saying that this business isn't tough. And then somebody said, well, it isn't for everyone. You're absolutely right. It isn't for everyone. I know a shop owner, and I'm not going to give out names, and I actually did get to meet him before he committed suicide. He blew his brains out. And it's sad to say that, but I want to tell you, on top of his personal issues and a business for him that wasn't working, I guess the ultimate for him was to, just end his life. And it's a sad thing to know that a shop owner was so mentally far gone about his personal life and the business. And I know that it was all the chemistry that was going on there, not only for him, but hey, I have this business. It's failing. I'm on the hook for all this money. Yeah, all these questions in my head. Am I a failure? And then, he committed suicide. I'm going back 10 years ago, and I actually had him come to my shop, and I didn't know his mental health at that point in time, and showing him how I made my business work and giving him my inside background on how I make my shop perform daily. And for him, he just chose another route. But in the end, it sounds like a lot of shop owners and small business guys are saying, "Hey, man, this is just not worth it anymore." Now, I have friends in the construction business that I don't hear that from them, but I'm sure it is going on. And if you have a small business, please chime in and tell us your challenges. Tell us your difficulties. We know it's a plague finding quality employees, and you can't just pay everyone $80 an hour to come in and change oil and do free estimates and inspections, or just tell me what's wrong. You just can't do it. The business model doesn't warrant that. You can't do a free brake estimate anymore. You can't do a free electrical estimate anymore. And there's another popular TikToker that was saying the same thing. He's like, I can't check your heat for free. Who's going to pay the guy? It's not as simple as it was in the old days, where you had a heater core, a thermostat, and a climate control. You can't do it anymore. It's just impossible. Something as simple as, hey, can you give me a free estimate for my air conditioning or my heater? And I'm just giving you simplicity. Those days are done. Hey, can you tell me why my tire light's on? No, I can't tell you why your tire light's on without charging you to diagnose the tires, because we have to use scan tools and a manual process all in one to really find out what's going on, let alone does the tire even take air through the TPMS. So, but keep them coming. April says every day is a new day. I will tell you, every day to me almost seems like the same skipping record. And I pray for the days that go absolutely smooth and there is no issues, but it seems like those days are far and few in between. And then you wonder why you see some of these shop owners and they're not ear to ear smiling all the time. Even Ford Boss Me or Master Tech, Ford Mocha Loco. I mean, these guys are the best in the business, and they're not smiling ear to ear every day because of the challenges that go on all day long in our business. Let alone with dealer parts failing. I just had a Chrysler tech tell me 4 eSIMs from the dealership parts, 4 dealership eSIMs, 3 were bad, but finally the 4th one was good, and that happens every day. And it's mentally racks the technician, it mentally racks the team and the manager when you know this is the problem. You've tested it, your experience, your knowledge tells you, and you put the part in, and then it's bad, or it lasts a day, and the customer's back looking at you, and you're like, oh man, I gotta redo. And just for example, I have to redo a fuel pump job on a car that the gas gauge doesn't work, and it won't take gas. The only reason the car was in is because it had a no start from a bad fuel pump. And the fuel pump hanger assembly came with a sending unit on it. But something's made wrong, and now I have to tear it down, and we couldn't get a Motorcraft part when we originally did the job. And guess what I'm going to put in? Motorcraft, and hope for the best. I was not going to try another aftermarket part for a fuel pump assembly and risk having issues. No different than the brake light switch on the GM. And I know these other guys out there say, oh, you didn't calibrate it. I've never had to calibrate a brake light switch for a GMC Acadia. Never. Remove one, put one in, and never have any issues again. Remove one, put it in, brake lights are stuck on. Try and pull the brake pedal up, it's still stuck on. Order another one from the dealership. Not the dealership, from the parts place that had AC Delco available, or whatever it is, GM or Delphi. Put it in, pull the brake pedal up, the light goes off. Figured out the brake pedal pivot bushing was a little worn. Made a quick modification, and the problem was solved. For now, hopefully I don't have this car back, but it's just like, it never ends sometimes. It never ends. I can't tell you how many calipers I've put on a customer's car in one day until one works, or you put it on and it lasts 90 days or 1 year or whatever the case. And then customers, are on you that you did a brake job a year ago, brake pads and rotors, and then they're back 1 year later with a right rear caliper that's sticking or stuck, and the brakes are completely worn out on the right and the left isn't, and you say, hey, it's not anything we did wrong, you got a bad caliper. And then they're losing their minds and giving you an attitude, and you're like, hey, it's your parts, they're not our parts. The caliper caused everything to wear out prematurely, and it's not our fault. You drove the car for a year, you haven't been back. And then when you check the oil and it's down 2 quarts of oil, and then they're arguing with you too about why their car's down on oil, and then you spent 20 minutes looking at their car, 20 minutes in phone calls and preparing an estimate, and then another 10 minutes, 15 minutes back and forth with her or her husband. And then when they show up, the aggravation and grief, you have an hour wrapped up in that customer for them saying, well, I'm just going to take it to the dealership and see what they say. Good luck. I'm going to say the same thing. But yeah, so let's keep it going. Let's unite here a little bit. Let's talk about what's going on here. I mean, we didn't even talk about into bay management, profitability, overcoming the issues in our business, and this can go for anything. A restaurant business, I'm sure, has their challenges too. I mean, I can't tell you how many pizza shop owners that I know that they're in their pizza shop every day, making it work. How many places, I'm just going to use Pep Boys as an example. They don't have the same mechanics. They don't have the same management. It's a revolving door, and it could be anywhere else. You know, it's like going into Home Depot and Lowe's. How often do you see the same person in there over and over and over? You don't. And I would say that's the same thing for like Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell. You know, people don't make, they don't stay. They usually find something else to do. And I hear, and I like to just see this because it helps me make a better decision for my end game later on down the road. Like, I still love what I do. I enjoy fixing cars. I can't stand the negativity that's all around it. And it doesn't start with me, or, you know, well, it could start with some of the employees, why they're late to work, or, you know, they bring their problems to work. And we could talk about that all day long. But yeah, the negativeness that comes with being in the auto repair business. And like I said, we were in a shoe store last night, a line of people throwing money at the counter people. The vibe was negative behind the counter. The customers were negative. And after like 15 minutes or so waiting for someone to bring out, you know, a pair of sneakers that cost $200 nowadays, we're like, screw this. Like, I expect service at this level of buying a sneaker. We're not at Payless or Walmart or Kmart or anything like that. Like, there should be some service here at the costs, what the expense of being in a shoe store today. You know, you expect that. So we walked out, you know. We can go buy sneakers anywhere. We actually wound up going to a smaller store, meeting a manager who gave us the personal service for a pair of sneakers that was like $150. And I told her, I said, you know, we appreciate the level of service that we got from the time that we walked in to the time that we left. The other store, we didn't get that. They were like, whatever, man. Whatever, man. So let's keep it rolling, guys. Keep telling me more about it. What else do you want to talk about? I don't think there's anything we can do about fixing the industry. I don't, because it would involve astronomical labor rates. Some people spending ridiculous amounts of, or all of us, we're spending a ridiculous amounts of money to try to capture a consumer that may be unattainable. There's a lot of things that we can try and do, but at what costs and what mental anguish that you're going to go through and stress. Like right now, like I have to go to work and hope that every car that we fixed last week isn't at my door with a failed part, and that's facts. That's fact. How about the Eagles game? Woo! I haven't watched a Super Bowl game in probably 30 years. Although April is the football girl who keeps tabs on all that stuff. I didn't, but man, did they kick some butt. It wasn't even like a football game. It looked like they were playing the high school football team versus, you know, an NFL team, you know, top level NFL team. I don't know. But now the official drink of the NFL is, say it, the Shamrock Shake, baby. All right. So stay with me, everyone. Keep the comments coming. If you're on YouTube and you don't know my TikTok, go check out my TikTok channel. It's The Normal Guy. If you're on TikTok and you don't see the YouTube action, go check out my YouTube channel. It's my name. Thanks for watching.